Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Sai Satcharitra, An Insight, Episode 117. My humble prostrations at the lotus feet of our Sadguru Sai. By the divine grace of Sai, an attempt has been made to translate the gist of the divine discourse of Sri Ramanathan Brother telecasted in Sai TV. This is purely done to share the glory of Sai and his divine teachings with more insight to the aspirants. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Devotees, we closed the previous episode with a gist of the miracle that took place in Dwarakamai when an aspirant of yoga came to Dwarakamai to seek Baba's guidance and blessings. In Sri Sai Satcharitra, Sri Hemat Panji has mentioned that this person accompanied Sri Nana Sahib Chandorkar to Dwarakamai. In the later years, through Sri Sai Leela magazine and other Sai research articles, we came to understand the fact that he did not accompany Sri Nana Sahib Chandorkar to Shiradi, but coincidentally, both might have entered Dwarakamai together on that day. Let that be so. As soon as the aspirant entered, he noticed Sri Sainath Maharaj eating bakri, that is, stale cornbread with dry onions. Instantaneously, this person's thoughts ran wayward. He thought, how can he who eats stale bakri and dry onion can clear my doubts? The reason is onions are considered to be tamasic by nature, which means they are detrimental to meditation as they would create laziness and dullardness. Therefore, for yoga sadhana, they are prohibited. Now, the aspirant saw Sri Sainath Maharaj eating dry roti with raw onions and his mind was puzzled if he has approached the right person to clarify his doubts. The moment this thought arose in his mind, immediately Sri Sainath Maharaj said, "Oh Nana, only those who can digest onion should eat it." The aspirant was astounded hearing this statement of Sri Sai. He realized that Sri Sainath was omniscient and surrendered with full faith. He understood that Sri Sainath's actions are unfathomable and none can gauge his potencies by what they merely see. The seeker of yoga went and prostrated at Sri Sainath's feet. Baba sat on his asan and blessed him. Now the person asked his questions and got all his doubts clarified. Sri Sai imparted the required wisdom to progress in his yoga practices. The person felt very satisfied and returned home happily. This is the Leela illustrated by Hemat Panji, and all of us might have read it in chapter 23 of Sri Sai Satcharitra. Let me throw some light on this topic, says Ramanathan Brother, and we shall heed to it attentively now. When we ponder more into this Leela, we could understand that the seeker of yoga did not accompany Sri Nana Sahib Chandorkar. Swami Ram Baba was the name of this yoga seeker. In the year 1910, he became an ascetic and came to Shiradi around 1914 for Sri Sainath's darshan. He was initiated into sannyas at Karanbas district Bulandshahr in Uttar Pradesh. After taking to sannyas, he travelled widely and met many saints and spent time with them. He roamed the jungles and mountains of India carrying his staff and a kafar, that is, the begging bowl. Swami Ram Baba has also met saints like Sri Ramana Maharishi and Swami Shivananda. He also continued his pilgrimage to many holy shrines. Swami Ram Baba also went on a parikrama of the sacred Narmada river, that is, circumambulating the path surrounding the river. This is considered more significant as Narmada river is the lifeline of central India and is worshipped as Narmada Maya, that is, Mother. Narmada rises from Amarkantak Plateau in Anuppur district, Madhya Pradesh. It forms the traditional boundary between North India and South India and flows westwards over a length of 1312 kilometers before draining through the Gulf of Khambat into the Arabian Sea, which is 30 kilometers west of Bharuch city of Gujarat. This is one of the 5 holy rivers of India, and it is the only one which has the tradition of being circumambulated from source to sea and back on a pilgrimage. The entire parikrama is estimated to be some 3,500 km long. The length of the river is 1,300 km, which when multiplied by 2 gives 2,626 km. It is believed that this journey helps to transform and elevate oneself as they get to visit many temples, take ritual dips in the sacred ghats, and visit many saints all through their journey. Being the longest west flowing river, the Narmada Parikrama is a formidable spiritual journey that ascetics would want to undertake. So, when Swami Ram Baba was set out for his Narmada Parikrama, he met Swami Hans Dev Ji and he directed Ram Baba to go to Garudeshwar and have darshan of Sri Tembe Swami. Devotees might recall that a mention of Sri Tembe Swami is given in Sri Sai Satcharitra. He is considered as an incarnation of Lord Dattatreya and his original name was Vasudevananda Saraswati. As advised, Swami Ram Baba had darshan of Sri Tembe Swami and after taking his blessings, he proceeded to Mani Nageshwar to have darshan of Nath Ji Maharaj. The temple of Mani Nageshwar is an ancient one. Perhaps the temple has been built in the year 1600 AD at Bahlod in Bharuch district of Gujarat. There is a belief that the 5 Pandava brothers at the time of their Agyantabas came to take bath at the Ghat in the Bay of Bengal, very close to Bardhanpur, which is known as Pandav Ghat, where the temple Mani Nageshwar is situated. After taking their bath, they used to have darshan of the presiding deity Mani Nageshwar Shiva there. Also, people have the faith that the snakes have built this temple with their gemstones or Nagamani. This is the reason why the temple is known by the name Mani Nageshwar. And those who have Naga Dosham or Sarpa Dosham in their horoscope are used to visit this temple to get relieved from the obstacles or effects that this dosham would cause in their life. The river Narmada flows through the states of Gujarat before emptying into the Arabian Sea in the west of Bharuch district of Gujarat. Swami Ram Baba had darshan of Nath Ji Maharaj and spent few days at Mani Nageshwar. At that juncture, 2 princes of Saurashtra came to take Nath Ji Maharaj's darshan. After seeking their Guru's blessings, the 2 princes also beseeched the Guru to bless them to have Shirdi Sai Baba's darshan. the Supreme Lord incarnates as saint to guide mankind to God realization. They are cognizant of the disciples' spiritual progress and the omniscient Guru, knowing the past, present, and future of a devotee and assessing their connection with other spiritual masters, would bestow his grace and guide his disciple to a particular Sadguru or master for the disciple's spiritual advancement. Nath Ji Maharaj was venerated as a great saint. He was aware that Ram Baba is unable to progress in his yoga sadhana and needs direction to advance in his practice. This enlightenment can be given only by a supreme being, a Yogi Raja, that is, Lord of Yoga, and that was none other than our Sri Sainath Maharaj. This is not just an hyperbole. Devotees might have heard the Jai Jaikar, that is a slogan, being chanted at the end of every arati at Shiradi by the Bagaldars, which goes thus. Anantakoti Brahmanda Nayaka Rajadiraja Yogiraj Parabrahma Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai, which means our salutations to the universal controller, the ruler of rulers, the king of all the yogis, the universal father, the formless but has taken the form as Sai Baba, the one representing truth, consciousness, and bliss, the one who expels the darkness of ignorance and provides the light of wisdom, protector of the desolate, greatest of the great, the perfect master. To him we bow with reverence. This was one of the reasons why Sri Sainath Maharaj directed Swami Ram Baba to Sri Sainath Maharaj. Likewise, when we refer to Sainath's Arati, the prayer encompasses the following verses. Aisa hi ba sai dikambara Akshaya Rupavatara Sarvahi Vyapakatu Shruti Sara Anusaya Trikumara Baba hi ba, meaning, such art thou, O Sai Baba, Sai Digambara, incarnation of the imperishable spirit. You are all pervading. You are the knower of the essence of the Vedas. I invoke thee, my Lord, the son of sage Atri and Anasuya. So, Baba is regarded as the incarnation of Lord Dattatreya, the one born to the great sage Atri and his devout consort Anasuya. The name Dattatreya can be split into two words, Datta and Atreya. Datta means the giver, as the Trinity have given themselves in the form of a son to the sage couple Atri and Anasuya. Hence, he got the name Dattatreya. The lineage and the history of the Dattatreya incarnations are inexplicable. Atri also means the one who has transcended the three gunas or attributes such as Rajas, Tamas, and Satvik. As sage Atri has surpassed these three attributes, he is known by the name Atri. Likewise, the meaning of the name Anasuya Devi can be understood by splitting it into two parts, Nah and Asuya. Nah is a negative prefix which means absence, while Asuya means jealousy. Therefore, Anasuya is termed as the one who has surpassed all negative qualities such as greed and jealousy. Sri Sainath Maharaj is regarded as an incarnation of Lord Dattatreya, which also denotes that he is the son of Atri and Anasuya and the one most appropriate to guide Sri Ram Baba. We heard that Swami Ram Baba, seeker of yoga, has read the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Every Shastra has a specific treatise and founder. Similarly, for Yoga Shastra, the founder is Maharishi Patanjali. The birth of this rishi is a unique and remarkable one, and that would reveal some mind boggling details. Patanjali Maharishi is an incarnation of Adi Sesh, also known as Seshanaga. Lord Vishnu sleeps on Adisesha. One day, while Lord Vishnu was reclining on his serpent bed, he gave a contented smile, and the thousand-headed Adisesh was amazed to see this and asked him the reason for the Lord's smile. Lord Mahavishnu replied that it is because he witnessed the cosmic dance of Lord Shiva, and he explained that the grace, beauty, majesty, and grandeur of Lord Shiva had been a jubilant sight. Marveled at this, Adisesh professed a desire to watch this celestial dance of Lord Shiva. Lord Vishnu was thoughtful and said, "You have got the desire for it, and there is also a need for it, which means you must take an incarnation on earth." Lord Vishnu knew that Adisesha is the only one capable to compose the Yoga Sutras. Though one of the purposes of Adisesha's incarnation on earth is to witness the cosmic dance of Lord Shiva, the other main objective of Lord Vishnu was to get the Yoga Sutras composed by him. Adisesha was overjoyed by these words and looked forward to the descent of Lord Shiva's grace. Let us see how he incarnated on earth. Adisesha then began to meditate to ascertain who would be his mother on earth. He spotted a yogini in his vision who was praying for a worthy son to whom she could impart her knowledge and wisdom. When this yogini was in the Anjali Mudra, that is prayer posture, wherein both the palms are joined together and brought to the center of the heart chakra, while she was praying to Lord Shiva, suddenly something fell on her palms. When she opened her eyes, to her utter shock, it was the Seshanagam coiled in her palms. She was astounded to see a baby snake in her hand. She named the baby as Patanjali. When we split the name as Pat and Anjali, Pat refers to the one that was dropped from the heaven, and Anjali refers to prayers. As the child was dropped to her palms while she was praying, the child has been named as Patanjali. Getting back to the original thread, Sri Sainath Ji Maharaj realized that Sri Sainath would be the most appropriate one to guide Ram Baba in his yoga sadhana. Hence, Nathji Maharaj immediately gave his benedictions and permission to the two princes to go to Shiradi and advised Swami Ram Baba also to accompany them. Until then, Swami Ram Baba had no intention to visit Shiradi or was even aware of Sri Sainath Maharaj. Now, Swami Ram Baba, along with the two princes, journeyed by car and reached Shiradi. It was almost time for noon arati. So, Ram Baba and the other two got down from the car and entered the sanctum sanctorum of Dwarakamai. Hence, devotees, now it's crystal clear that Swami Ram Baba did not accompany Sri Nana Sahib Chandorkar, but Nana was present in Dwarakamai when Swami Ram Baba came there. This is apparent because Sri Sainath Maharaj called out Nana's name to reveal his views about eating raw onions with stale bread. So, this statement of Sri Sainath might have given the belief that Swami Ram Baba, the yoga seeker, must have accompanied Nana to have Sri Sainath's darshan. Thus, Hemat Panji might have recorded that way in Sri Sai Satcharitra. The moment Swami Ram Baba stepped into Dwarakamai, he glimpsed at Sri Sainath Maharaj, and Sri Sai also looked at him. Both looked directly into the other's eyes. The four eyes fixed their looks as though they were interlocked with each other. Devotees, Sri Sainath Maharaj is an incarnation of the Supreme Parabrahman. Hence, not all of us can look at the eyes of Sri Sainath Maharaj directly, as that is filled with divine effulgence. Some of the devotees have personally observed Sri Sai Baba's eyes and voiced out that it would shimmer like a crystal during night. Such are the potencies of the Lord Sri Sainath Maharaj. Though we are not fortunate enough to see that radiance of Sri Sainath Maharaj while he was in his mortal coil in Shiradi, from my personal experience, I can say that the vibrations and the ecstasy one would feel by glimpsing at Sri Sainath Maharaj's Pratima at Shiradi is extraordinary and unique. It is indefinable and profound. The beauty of Sri Sainath Maharaj at Shiradi is highly remarkable and cannot be equated to any Pratima of Sri Sainath's in this entire world. Sri Sai is alive in Shiradi. He is self effulgent. His lips pronounce sweet advice to me. Sri Sai's eyes are brimmed with compassion. Sai's heavenly face is tilted slightly towards his right side and leaning forward with sparkling and affectionate eyes, which gives me a feel that Sri Sai has been waiting for my arrival, wanting to listen to my stories, ready to carry me in his palms and place me on his lap and give a loving embrace. A glimpse at Sri Sainath Maharaj electrifies the body with divine energy. It pierces our heart and would bring out all our inner secrets to limelight. And Sri Sai's eyes penetrate into every cell of our body, rejuvenates it with his divine energy, and gives a strong urge to surrender at his lotus feet and remain there forever. So, the glimpse of Sri Sainath Maharaj at Swami Ram Baba turned out to be a Nayana Diksha, that is, initiation by sight. Until then, Swami Ram Baba's mind was filled with doubts and was wanting for guidance. But this initiation gave him the necessary wisdom and clarified all his doubts. Thus, the guidance flowed to the disciple from the Sadguru through eyes. This transmission of power gave eternal peace to Swami Ram Baba's mind. It left him in bliss supreme. What kind of spiritual upliftment did he derive through this initiation? How did it transform his life? We can listen to these enthralling stories in the coming episode. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Om Sai Ram.